Hello everyone, Connor and Glenn here. Today we're checking out the Keeley 4-in-1 Angry Orange alongside the DS-1 and the Triangle Big Muff, two pedals that live inside of the Keeley 4-in-1.
Symbiotically, like two little parasites.
Yes, they're concentric and fused, and those are technical terms you can find in the manual. Anyway, we're going to check them out today because you've heard the DS-1, you know what that sounds like. You've heard the Big Muff, you know what that sounds like. And both of those pedals, again, are combined, the clipping modes and the overdrive voices in the 4-in-1 series. So we figured this was a good time to try to blow that pedal out and show you more about the tonal possibilities. So,
yeah.
Glenn, what do you think of these so far? You've had some time this morning to mess around with them and everything.
I've been a big fan of the 4-in-1 series even before they showed up. You know, like just the concept of them.
How is that possible?
Well, when they started letting us know about like Noble Screamer was the first, right up my alley. And when you see a pedal like that, you can tell a pedal company's gonna like make a format around it because it's such a great concept, right? So, and as the new ones have rolled in, we've just been equally as impressed with all of them. And again, just the idea of the format is great. But specifically with the Angry Orange, yes, it has a DS-1 or a Keeley tweaked version of a DS-1 in there, which Keeley's kind of famous for, and then a Keeley tweaked version of a Big Muff. So yeah, we have a DS-1 plugged in, a reissue Triangle Big Muff, and the Angry Orange. DS-1 traditionally is a little bit more hard clipping, so a little more rough around the edges, probably good for your rock riffing, been used on a million recordings. Big Muff, also been used on a million recordings, a little more pillowy, more compression, more sustained, think more of like David Gilmour violin-like solo tones. And what's great about Angry Orange is you can have both of those pedals in there, and also the magic lies in the mixing of them, more importantly. So we're gonna really quick just refresh your ear on what a DS-1 and a Big Muff sounds like, and then get through some sounds on the Angry Orange.
But first,
yes,
the clean tone. So
PRS NF3, very apropos, in orange, through the Boss Katana Mark 300 watt, which is mic'd up. Here we go. DS-1. Classic, very familiar.
I know that sound.
Let's hear the DS-1 sounds in the Angry Orange. A little more range to all of the controls.
Totally.
Sounds a little more musical to me. You can certainly get by with the DS-1. They're easy to find, they're cheap. But the DS-1 sound is there within the Angry Orange and then some. And if there are some things about the DS-1 that you find lacking, I think the DS-1 sounds in the Angry Orange kind of fix that. That being said, let's get to the Big Muff. Again, a sound we all know, but just for context. Immediately, I just want to go to those fluty kind of little sustainy runs. And with the controls at the same spot, we're going to hear the Muffside, the Angry Orange.
Muffside. Sounds great.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Pretty similar. Again, it's a little more tweakable. You know, it's not like at high gain settings with the Angry Orange that you lose clarity. On the Triangle Muff, we have the gain about halfway. I feel like if you would go any further than that, you really wouldn't be getting much out of it. But the Angry Orange, I feel like it's still a usable, clear kind of thing.
Yeah, there's some range left in that thing for sure.
Yeah.
And fine-tunedness, I think. I've always liked how those pots feel on the foreign ones. They're very fine, and you can kind of dial things in just right. Not that you can on other types of knobs, but what they've done in those, just they feel great. So
yeah, I mean, it's truly what you would expect to get from a boutique pedal company. Keeley really delivers on that, and it's always been appreciated, and it's why they're here in the shop and why people know that name.
Totally. So, okay, now we can flip between the voice and the clipping mode, right? So we can truly symbiotically merge the tonal palettes here.
Yeah.
So why don't you take us through that? Maybe we'll do what, DS-1 and Big Muff clipping style first, or whatever you want.
Yeah. Let's. You know what? Let me bring the controls back to noon.
Yeah. Start us fresh.
And let me start from the DS-1 mode, and I will just kind of go through the throw of everything, the range of everything. So you guys have an idea.
So we'll hear a familiar sound, and then we'll push that somewhere else.
Yep. Let's do that. So here's a clean sound, one more time.
How you can push those vowels out in the different kind of EQing.
That's really down to the Big Muff section of the tone sweep. When you have that Big Muff setting on, you really get some of those kind of vowel-y, kind of whoa, 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 whoa,
which is cool to combine that with the DS-1 because sometimes that is a little bit more like stout in the mid-range, you're kind of fixed in the mid-range, which is I think what people like about it, because I know people will just use a DS-1 gained all the way down as like a boost pedal for kind of that same sort of thing, but being able to change that vowel, it's really cool. It sounds great.
You know, let's hear some of those lower gain sounds.
Okay.
I feel like with this pedal, of course, you're going to err towards the more high gain sounds, but let's, speaking of the dynamic range of Angry Orange and Keeley, let's hear that a little bit. Let's go back to the DS-1 mode. Oh, the neck pickup. Let's hear some low gain sounds on the DS-1. A little more thin.
I would say,
A lot more body than the Angry Orange. Some would say it's like an ampish quality.
Well, it lets more of that Strat sound come through, I almost feel.
Yeah, whereas like most DS-1s, it's not the first thing you think of is like chimey kind of broken up Strat tones.
Sure, and it almost has that fixed tone of the distortion with the DS-1. Like I can kind of still hear it overlaying.
Yeah, like you can hear the lineage.
Yeah,
totally. So now what I'm a little bit more interested to hear is the low gain muff sounds. So let me wind the gain back on the muff. Because I know a lot of guys who actually use muff with gain pretty low and maybe into a dirtier amp.
Sure, yeah.
Let's hear that from EHX first. See, even with the gain wound almost all the way down, with the electro harmonics, you're still getting a lot of gain. Very unmistakably big muff. Now, let's see if we can get something a little bit more dynamic and usable out of the low gain sounds of the muff side of the Angry Orange.
That sounds great. I mean, it doesn't choke out or get so spitty right away like a actual muff might.
No, it's very Claptonian. There's your woman tone right there.
That's it, yeah.
So where my ear goes to right away is, how do we get that nice feel of the low gain of the muff, but open up the top end just a little bit?
Sure.
Flip that DS-1 switch, and let's see what we get.
Hear, yeah.
What I was looking for.
Great, just vintage kind of sounding, inspired tones.
Yep.
You know,
it's like it's almost like an old Marshall amp, like through a console that's kind of like pushed. Or something like
it does very much have that console sound. I think these are overdrive pedals for like studio engineers too. You know, it's like if I was wanting to tweak something, I would have full range of just a very simple format, but a familiar format. So
yeah,
I dig these.
Very cool.
Sounds great.
Well, now maybe. Let's hear a DS-1 style clipping with like the muff tone rolled back, get like a really vowel-y kind of sound.
Okay, sure.
On a lower gain setting, right? So DS-1 clipping, muff tone control, and let's bring that back and see if we can keep that woman tone rolling. Right away, the DS-1 clipping mode seems a lot louder. It's probably due to that hard clipping.
Mm-hmm. Great. That's so good.
No bad sounds.
No, not really. And one of the things too is like, I feel people don't really describe the DS-1 as a transparent overdrive, but this gives you access to what would otherwise be a transparent DS-1 kind of sound in the way that your guitar is still coming through, but you can color it and you have such a range of dynamics that...
I'd agree.
Yeah, it remains the voice of whatever you try to make it. So.
I totally agree. It's almost like DS-1 to me is kind of like a... picks up where a blues driver left off with like a harder clipping.
Sure.
That's for another video.
That's for another video, namely the Blues Disorder that I'm sure do as well. But
we'll get to that.
Yeah, great pedals. Keeley 4-in-1 series, what can we say? I mean, they can do it all. And you should come pick one up at Tone Tailors. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and we'll see you next time.